I grew up in Oxford, in this city, and I was very lucky. I grew up at exactly the time when the secondary modern and grammar school divide was ended. I would have failed the 11 plus. I can tell you, I couldn't read and write at the age of 8. I was good at maths, but that wouldn't have been enough. Anyway, it didn't matter. It's only much later in life I worked that one out because our schools were all comprehensive. And not only were they suddenly become comprehensive, but nobody knew what the good or bad school was. And little diversion about Oxford, but the county grammar, the poshest state school of the entire county, was based down in Littlemore near the car factory in the poorest part of the city. The secondary modern that was most shunned was based in North Oxford, in the poshest part of the city. And so you can see when you make them all comprehensive, nobody's quite sure. And what do you do when nobody's sure? Well, you go to the nearest school. And that actually, there was a time when that occurred, and the effect was incredible. Mary mentioned Sheffield. I'm sure nobody's tuned. Well, maybe some people tune into this because they want to argue, but Sheffield sends more young people to university than Bristol. How does the city of Sheffield send a higher proportion of its young people to university than Bristol? It's because Sheffield has such a better comprehensive education system. Still very divided. There are 6 comprehensives high up on the hill, which get very high results in the posh part of Sheffield in the southwest. In fact, better results than the posher comprehensives in Oxford. How does Sheffield do it when it's still divided? It has hardly any private schools. Whereas Bristol, which has a large proportion of private schools, the effect of that segregation is to actually result in fewer children overall going to university or doing well for Bristol. Segregation actually damages overall chances. And I won't get into what happens to people who pass the 11 plus with a bit of shoving and pushing and luck, and then spend the rest of their school experience at the bottom of a grammar school. We never think of those. Awful position to be in. We're not in a comprehensive present. If you look again, you can look nationally, but at my city, the gaps between the exam results of the state schools have never been wider. The gaps in the house prices between the catchment areas of the 5 state schools in the city of Oxford are about £100,000 each. You pay £100,000 to get between the catchment areas of your state schools. And that's for the 2/3 of parents who use state schools. A third are using private schools in this city of Oxford. It's apartheid. The children of the city don't mix. They don't know each other. They might occasionally play in the same football team, but really, absolutely shocking.